I've been out of town, so I don't know what's going on with the Cowboys. You guys got to help me. Have we hired a defensive coordinator?
Not yet.
We ain't got nobody?
Not yet.
All
Not
right,
yet.
we
Next wave of guys are coming in.
We looking at some people? We got some people?
Yeah, we got some guys, man. Former head coaches. Well, former head coach.
One former head coach.
I don't want him.
We got a local kid.
In-house option?
DeSoto.
That sounds better.
And then we got one outside the building.
Yeah.
That sounds
all right.
par.
Hit me. Who are they? What are we doing? What's going on?
We got Jonathan Gannon, former head coach, Arizona Cardinals.
Nope.
We got Zach Orr, former DeSoto Eagle, UNT.
North Texas.
And the defensive coordinator at Baltimore. And then we got right in the building.
And these are via Clarence Hill, I think.
I mean, why would we do that? I mean, Clarence Hill first reported, but on my own show is I think. I get no love at home. So I got to get my love on the road.
Oh, my God.
I get no love at home.
Yeah,
there will be eventually, but when you're first on stuff, you at least get credit for that, okay? Get love on the road. But no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Calvin usually gets them right after Clarence.
The interesting thing, and I've said this, I've said this a couple of times, this is another example of Shotty being in charge. And I will just point to Zach Orr. They have a relationship back when they were together with Jacksonville. Okay. They coached together at Jacksonville.
And Orr is Baltimore?
Baltimore is D.C.
Correct. And is he current D.C. or when Harbaugh gets fired, do you get fired?
Well, they're still on. I mean, they don't. It's like the Cowboys coaches have not been released yet. Even though
he's been the last 2 years.
Like the defensive coach of the Cowboys.
The contracts aren't all tied to the defensive coordinator.
So my God, we have a graphic? Yeah. I like him now. That's my coach.
Well, the thing
we're playing man and we're blitzing. This is my guy right here.
The problem is he didn't have any players.
He can bring our Darius Washington with him, former TCU player, my Mighty Mouse.
He didn't have any pass rush, and his secondary was trash. And as we saw here, when you can't get to the quarterback and your secondary is trash, you're not going to be a good defense. But his numbers actually got better over the course of the year. But again, here's another guy. Again, played in North Texas. Everybody talks about what we like about Jim Leonard, and he's a walk-on. How he's a self-made man. Well, this is a self-made man. He's an undrafted free agent, played in North Texas, made the roster at Baltimore, had a career in the injury, and then kind of worked his way back up through the coaching ranks to become defensive coordinator. So he got it out the dirt, similar to Jim Leonard. Again, Jim Leonard never ran a pro defense, but we like his journey. Okay, if you like a person's journey, he has a great journey. Again, the local kid from DeSoto. But going back to White Cotton, there's no way you can hire. I mean, you give him the interview, but there's no way you can hire somebody else who was part of this
defensive line.
Can I for a second just tell you, Clarence, that I just want you to be careful. I don't want you to. They're not picking a guard.
Theoretically, that's a theoretical. No, in theory,
we hired
reasonable minds. There's no way you can potentially hire a defensive coordinator.
We hired an offensive coordinator who was under a guy who we thought had failed the offense, and we hired the guy that was underneath him to be our head coach.
I said theoretically.
Just don't say. Don't say no.
I'm just saying.
Don't do this.
No, I'm just saying that we hired. You can't say that we can't hire a guy because the same guy who we fired last year, Michael from Pittsburgh, who everyone said had ruined this offense, we went and we made the guy who was his understudy or not understudy, but his.
There's a caveat there.
Okay. Oh,
we're doing caveats.
Let's go.
We make the caveats. The year before they were very good, and
23,
and Schottenheimer was part of that. And they would say Schottenheimer was part of when remember earlier in the year when they were bad and now they took off, and Schottenheimer helped make some of those decisions.
What did White Cotton what was White Cotton at before here?
Jets.
I'm just talking about here.
I'm just saying. Let me put a caveat on top of your caveat.
Well, you can. But
Aaron White Cotton was a part of a good Jets defense when he was over coaching Quentin Williams in New York.
2 caveats. I just want to help you. I just want to help you craft.
I agree.
You're a respected journalist.
Okay.
And I want to help you craft your statement here.
Okay.
You think
theoretically
that it wouldn't make a lot of sense.
There you go.
And it would probably be a poor idea.
That goes without saying, I would say. I don't know if we have to explain all that, but for all the gotcha people, who gotcha? You said this.
Oh, I'm waiting to get
gotcha. You gotcha people.
I can't wait to get you.
So if it was,
it don't make a lot of sense, but you had to give me an interview.
If it was White Cotton, is that a Jerry or Shotty decision?
Whoever it is, they need to fire themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
And I say this with all due respect.
Yes.
Because the last thing I need in my life right now, we hadn't spoken a while, but we were friends. I just don't keep in contact with people a lot. The last thing I need is Brad Sham to tweet me and tell me that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about and I'm an idiot.
Oh, he sees.
But I'll tell you that if Aaron Whitecotton ends up the Cowboys defensive coordinator, then you're just going to have to live in a real world of optimism of, man, I don't know a lot about the guy, and he'll be better at this than he was at his last job. He deserves a promotion, even though he didn't seem to do a great job at his last job. Because if you think that this defensive line played better than the individual parts are this year, I don't. And so I don't think the defensive line coach right now deserves a ton of praise, credit, and promotion.
No.
That's where I am.
No, the three best players in the line were ready-made prospects. I mean,
Right.
You did nothing to make them good.
Ezeraku was a worse pass rusher than he was in college. There wasn't anybody on this line that you went, oh man, I bet somebody's really getting them going. And so yeah, he would be a very uninspiring hire. And if it got done, that to me would at least scream partially of Jerry, because it would mean you got the cheapest guy you could find.
And while we're going through this entire process, I mentioned this yesterday, and I've made a declaration to myself in private. I'll now do it in public.
Okay.
The one thing that I'm going to stand 10 toes down on in this entire process, because I know that Jerry and Brian Schottenheimer, when they speak certain things in press conferences, we latch on to them. We cling on to them and we hold on to them. And they talked about communication. And that has been the thing that everyone has been basing their think pieces off of is communication. Well, I'm about, tell me what they have developed. Okay. Yes, teaching is cool.
Yeah.
You got to develop.
Yeah.
You have to be able, to your point, like you just said about Whitecotton, Ezeraku was not developed as a player. Right? Like he didn't take the leap that you needed him to take. You're going to need someone that is put in place.
And he got him arrested.
Sorry, that's nice. Yeah. You're going to need a defensive coordinator, and I don't know if that's in Jim Leonard's wheelhouse or Gannon or whatever have you. Can they develop?
Right.
Can you take that 3rd round pick and bring him along,
right,
and make him a formidable rotational player? Can you take that starter and build around him and elevate his game, elevate those B-level players? Like, that's the part that I am most concerned about. I get the communication, and I'm not ignoring it or pushing it to the side or calling it irrelevant in the process of this all. There is a component that needs to be had in the communication department. How do I get better football players? If I can't always acquire them via draft or acquire them via free agency because my ownership is unwilling to spend the financial dollars to go get them, then I have to be able to turn into sugar.
Right. Right.
I got to be able to do that.
I think that, number one, we're projecting with most of those guys who've never done it before, never been coordinators. But just to your point of the words,
except Gannon. Gannon's been a coordinator.
Yeah, right. I was going to
Eagles,
But he got his own stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if we're going to get to Gannon just for a second. But I would say this, that most of the stuff is just generic talk. Who doesn't want a teacher? Who doesn't want to motivate? If I'm out there looking for a coach, Shotty wants a teacher. He wants a communicator. He wants a motivator. Who don't want that in the coach? Who, like, I'm looking for a wife. I want somebody that's beautiful and
we know what you
kitchen.
want.
We know
Beautiful,
what you want.
cook, clean.
Yeah, we know.
You walked into that
Kitchen, laundry room, bedroom.
That's it. Kitchen, laundry room, bedroom.
3 places.
You ain't the allegations.
and you don't buy a watch. Why?
Nah, you didn't get me now.
Why don't you buy?
What Charles
there's a
Barkley
clock on the oven.
said. Charles Barkley said that there's a clock on every oven.
I really don't do older women. But anyway, I'm just saying those are just generic terms like, Shotty, I want a teacher, I want a communicator. Who don't want that?
Yeah, but
who don't want that?
But here's the thing: there are greater communicators than others.
This
Right.
is true, but just the idea of, because when they brought the current staff in, they're college guys or teachers. That was the buzzword last year.
Yeah.
When they brought Riley and some of the guys from college, the receivers coach, because they're teachers. That's what most coaches generally want. Yes, some are better than others. But the idea of I want to teach a communicator, that's what you want and all. And I bet if you go back to last year, you ask them about Matt Eberflus, they would have said the same thing. It didn't turn out that way, but they would have said the same thing.
But no one said that about Matt Eberflus. Even his old players said he didn't communicate.
No, I'm talking about before the season, not during the season.
I'm talking about before he got here. All his other players said that he was a horrible communicator. And